With 2022 coming to a close, I wanted to look back at the most expensive and valuable cards from the entire year. There were 5 Pokemon card sets that were released in the year 2022. We had Silver Tempest, we had Astral Radiance, we had Lost Origin, we had Pokemon Go, and Brilliant Stars. Some amazing sets that were released in the past year, and we're going to talk about the most expensive cards from those 5 sets. I was really surprised when I made this list that 3 cards from Astral Radiance made the top 10, with it being the least valuable booster box out of the bunch. It was a really nice surprise. Going into number 10 on our list, we have the Rayquaza V Max from Silver Tempest. This is a trainer gallery card, so you are able to pull it inside of your reverse holo slot from your packs, which leaves the possibility of you pulling something even crazier in the ultra rare or rare slot behind it. Could you imagine pulling the Rayquaza V Max trainer gallery card and an Altar Lugia from the same pack? That would just be absolutely crazy. The Rayquaza V Max trainer gallery card is sitting right around $46, with the Silver Tempest booster box sitting right around $120. It would be really hard for you to even come close to breaking even on that sealed product opening, even if you pulled this amazing Rayquaza art with every other pull that you got on the inside of the box, all the bulk and code cards and everything like that. That's why I'm a big fan of just buying single cards and keeping my sealed product sealed, even though it is a lot of fun to open up packs. With how popular Rayquaza is, I could see this card holding strong at this price and even continuing to rise in value as time goes along. It's just one of the most popular Hoenn region legendary Pokemon, and it is the mascot for the best Pokemon game of all time, Pokemon Emerald. Let me know down in the comments if you agree with me. Pokemon Emerald is the best Pokemon game that was ever created. Let's go into number 9 on our list. We have the Pikachu V Max from the Trainer Gallery in Lost Origin. The only 2 Trainer Gallery cards that made our list, with the majority of our top 10 being alt art cards. This Pikachu V Max card featuring red on the front is just an amazing artwork. You can pull it in your reverse holo slot. The Lost Origin set as a whole is really top heavy. You have 3 really good cards at the top of the Lost Origin set, and the rest of it is just really kind of mid. You have like the Rotom and the Berserker, which really aren't that great. Lost Origin is sitting right around $120 a booster box, so even with this being the 3rd most valuable card from the set, you wouldn't be able to make a profit or even break even on a booster box if you were to pull this amazing card in your reverse holo slot. And just to be clear, 99.9% of the time when you open up sealed product, you are not going to make money. You are not going to even get close to breaking even. You are going to lose money, but you are going to have fun doing it. Coming in at number 8 on our list, we have the Palkia V Altar. This card is sitting right around $51 to $52 on TCG Player and eBay. In my opinion, this card really isn't that great. I'm not the biggest fan of the Origin form Palkia. I just don't like how he's missing his arms. It's a pretty cool card. The background is pretty cool. The abstract concept of it is really cool, but just overall, it's not as good as the other cards on this list, in my opinion. Sitting around $52, I think a lot of the reason why this card is sitting so high is because it is such a playable card. Palkia V and V Star were considered the best deck in format for the standard format in the trading card game for a few months whenever initially released. It's been passed up by the Lugia V Star, but it's still a very powerful deck, and it still sees a lot of play. A lot of people like to bling out their decks to have the highest rarity card in their decks, so there's multiple markets that are going after this Palkia V Altar. You know, the Palkia collectors, alt art collectors, you know, trading card game players. There's a lot of different people who are really in on this card, and what makes the price so high compared to how good the art actually is. I would rather have any other card on this list besides the Palkia V Altar. Number 7 on our list is our second Astral Radiance card. Like I mentioned before, there are 3 cards from Astral Radiance that are in this top 10 list. Astral Radiance booster box is sitting at $101, about $20 less than any of these other boxes that we are talking about. It's kind of crazy when you think about it having so many cards inside the top 10 list, but they are some of the lower value cards on this top 10 list, which is probably why the Astral Radiance booster box is so low. The Dialga V Altar card is just really cool. I really like the color. It's just a really great artwork. Sitting right around $56 if you wanted to pick one up for yourself right now. This card and all the other alt arts are more than likely going to rise in price as these sets become no longer available, as they become out of print, as more and more product gets opened up and the sealed product that's left over becomes more valuable. These chase cards are going to be really sought after just because they are some of the best artworks that the Pokemon company has ever done. Like, I'm talking in the entire existence of the Pokemon trading card game, Sword and Shield has probably the best art. I'm just going to say Sword and Shield has the best artwork of any set that they've ever done, and it's really not even close. Especially the second half of Sword and Shield, kind of starting with Battle Styles. That's when you got your first alt arts. Those weren't the best alt arts, but after Battle Styles, all of the alt art cards are just so good, and the art is just unparalleled in the entire existence of the Pokemon trading card game. Coming in at number 6 on our list, we have our first Charizard card. I'm sure most of you could have guessed that there was going to be at least one Charizard on this list. We have the Rainbow Rare Charizard V Star from Brilliant Stars. Brilliant Stars is actually one of the more expensive sets in recent memory. Brilliant Stars booster box will set you back around $180 right now. And this Rainbow Rare card, which is the second most valuable card from the set, is only worth about $80. It's kind of crazy whenever you think about the price of the sealed product versus what you could possibly pull on the inside. The estimated value for a Brilliant Stars booster box is actually really high. It does contain cards such as the Arceus V and the V Star, which are two of the most powerful cards that have ever been printed for the Pokemon trading card game. And there's actually quite a few evolution cards on the inside of Brilliant Stars as well that really do help hold up the value. You have the Trainer Gallery, Sylveon, Umbreon. You have a lot of really good cards on the inside of this set. Has a bunch of different Charizards, has evolutions, has very powerful trading card game playable cards. So it's a recipe for a really expensive booster box. I was really surprised to see any Rainbow Rare card make this list. Rainbow Rare cards have been around since Sun and Moon base set. I think the Umbreon Rainbow Rare was actually the first Rainbow Rare card that was ever printed in Sun and Moon base set, and really they've just overstayed their welcome. I think everybody can agree that the Rainbow Rare cards just need to go. They just need to stop making Rainbow Rare cards. And the gold cards are really cool, but the Rainbow Rare secret rares, they're just not that great, and they should really focus their energy and their creative designs in another direction. Going into the top 5 of our list, we have the best card from Astral Radiance, my personal favorite card as well from the set. We have the Machamp V Altar. This is just a really cool card. He's running through the market with all the plates and the food and everything in his 4 different arms, and it's one of the very few times where the most valuable card, the chase card from a set, has actually lined up with being my favorite card from the set as well. Astral Radiance as a whole is just a really solid set. This is the only card that is worth more than a booster box though. The Machamp V Altar is sitting right around $115 with a booster box sitting right at $100. So if you were to pull this card, you would be having a great time because everything else would just be extra. But there's also a lot of really good trainer gallery cards. You have the Starmie featuring Misty, the Garchomp featuring Cynthia. The Altar Beedrill is actually really cool as well. I think the Beedrill is my second favorite card from the set. So a lot of those hold, pretty decent value as well. And most of those you can actually pull in the reverse holo slot in the trainer gallery set. All of these sets with trainer gallery are just so good. The fact that 99% of these trainer gallery cards are under $1 is just absolutely crazy to me. If I was in the market or in the business of buying single cards to hold long term, I would be buying up all of these really inexpensive trainer gallery cards, especially the ones that feature the female trainers. I'm sure most of you know that how the female trainer waifu cards do on the market. They always just go crazy in price. So even with like Astral Radiance, you have the Frostmoth with Melanie, you have the Phalanx with like Bay. Those are all under $1. It's just kind of crazy when you think about it. Really inexpensive booster box, a lot of really good cards on the inside. Honestly, Astral Radiance seems like it's kind of being slept on. Even though the high-end chase card really isn't there, with this most valuable card in the set being $115, it's still more than what the booster box costs, which is something that most sets do not have going for them. Most of the time, the sealed booster box is always going to be more expensive than the best card that you could possibly pull out of it. So the fact that you can even pull a single card worth more than the booster box is just kind of wild. Coming in at number 4 on the list, we have the Aerodactyl V Altar from Lost Origin. Lost Origin is a very top-heavy set. You have the Giratina, you have the Aerodactyl, and then you have the Pikachu, and then it really just falls off. You really have to pull one of these cards to even get close to breaking even. I know I mentioned before, if you're opening up packs, you're never going to make money. Really, you don't see people opening up booster boxes to flip the singles for a profit very often, unless it's the week of release, that first weekend, when people are buying cards to play with, when people are buying cards when they're just absolutely crazy in price. All of these chase cards that we're talking about today all started out much higher, and these are the prices they've kind of settled at. But the Aerodactyl V is my favorite card from the Lost Origin set. It's just an amazing looking artwork, has all the fossil Pokemon in the background with Aerodactyl flying over the top. This is one of the cards that I see holding really strong at this price and just kind of creeping up ever so slightly as time goes along, and then eventually it's just going to become so valuable of a card that people are just going to be like, wow, I can't believe I didn't buy that whenever it was like $70, $80, $90. This card did get down to around $100 for a while, but then it's kind of creeped back up to $125. It's just an amazing artwork. All of these alt art cards are just so amazing. Long term, people who collect the cards are really going to want these alt arts. People coming into the hobby, people returning to the hobby, people who just couldn't afford them right now are going to want them later when they have more money. It's just all of these alt art cards are just so good. I'm not very bullish on any of these other cards on this list that are not the alt arts, but I feel like every single one of these alt arts, this is really the lowest that we're ever going to be able to buy these at. And if you pick them up now, you're going to be extremely happy to have them in 5 to 10 years. You're going to be like, I bought this card at $125 and it's going to be, triple. I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen, especially with how print runs are and how many of these things actually exist, but I would not be surprised either if somebody just really cornered the market on all of these alt art cards and just really controlled the supply, which would make the price go up. This is the second most valuable card from Lost Origin, and it's one of 2 cards that are worth more than the price of a booster box. Coming in at number 3 on the list, we have the most valuable card from Brilliant Stars. We have the Charizard V Altar. This is one of my favorite alt art cards, not because it's just a Charizard card. I'm actually not a very big fan of Charizard cards, but I do like cards where they're actually showing a battle scene. The Charizard looks like it's battling against a Venusaur in the background. It's just a really cool Charizard artwork. There's been a lot of really good Charizard artworks this year. Just the Charizard Ultra Premium Collection by itself had 3 amazing cards come out of it with the V Max, and V Star. Could you guys imagine if they would have released all 4 of those alt art cards on the inside of Brilliant Stars, how expensive it would have been? Brilliant Stars is still $180 a booster box, which is the most expensive booster box from the year 2022. I'm sure most of you are probably like, what about Evolving Skies? Evolving Skies was the end of 2021, so it does not count for this list. Going back to the Charizard alt art, it's a Charizard card. All Charizard cards do really well long term. I'm kind of surprised that this card is only $180, but there has been a lot of really good alt art Charizards that have been released lately. I just think as time goes along, this card is just going to go up, and I think it's going to go up at a rate much higher than a lot of these other cards on this list. Coming in at number 2 on the list, we have the most valuable card from Silver Tempest. We have the Lugia V Altar. This card is just kind of crazy. When this card first came out, it was selling for $400-$500. It was wild what people were selling this card for. It was wild what people were buying this card for. PSA 10 copies of this were like $1,000. It was just absolutely crazy for the first couple of weeks. As more and more of these came to the market, the price did start coming down. It has settled right around $215 or so, but even at that $215 price, that's still almost double what a Silver Tempest booster box costs. Silver Tempest booster box will set you back about $120 right now, and it does have a lot of amazing playable cards on the inside. Lugia V and V Star are actually the most powerful cards in the standard format right now. The Lugia V Star summoning star ability, I do believe it is, allows you to put 2 stage 2 Pokemon from your discard pile onto your bench, and if you put the 2 Archeops on your bench, you can accelerate 4 special energy per turn. It's just crazy how powerful it is, and this is an amazing artwork on top of it, so it really has multiple markets going after it. It has the collector market, Lugia being such a popular Pokemon, and then it's it's an alt art card. It's a high-end chase card for the flippers and people like that. People who grade cards want that PSA 10 premium. It's just so many people going after this card. People who play the trading card game going after that max rarity. There's a lot of people who really want this card, which has resulted in such a high price. Coming in at number 1 on the list, I'm sure most of you could have guessed from the beginning of this video, we have the Giratina V Altar from Lost Origin. This card is sitting over $270 right now. It is by far the most valuable card from the year 2022. It's an amazing artwork. My second favorite card from Lost Origin. I do like the Aerodactyl a little bit more than I like the Giratina, but this card is an amazing looking card. One of the best cards that they've ever printed in the entire history of the trading card game. $270 for one card. It's more than double the price of a Lost Origin booster box. A Lost Origin booster box is around $120 right now, but it is a very top-heavy set. If you don't pull either the Giratina, the Aerodactyl, or the Pikachu V Max, you're really going to have a bad time value-wise from this set. But if you do get that Giratina V, you're just going to be so crazy overjoyed to be able to pull that. Let me know what you guys think of the 10 most valuable cards from the year 2022. Were you guys surprised by anything on this list? Let me know down in the comments. I do appreciate you checking out this video, and I'll see you in the next one.